So it doesn't matter what you're painting, it's really worth spending the time to make the surface you're going to paint as good as possible to get the best result. So how do you go from this to this and being ready to paint? Let's take a look. Okay, in this video we're not going to be talking about converting or kit bashing your models. We'll do that later. In this video we're going to look at how to build and prep your model ready for painting. If you like this video, please bash the like button. It won't cost you a penny, but it really helps us out, so thank you. Now the Mini we're going to use today is one of the boys of the new Beast Snagga kit. I've only just bought this and it looks really good. Now especially if you've never built the kit before, a good thing is to look at the instructions. Therefore you can see how the model goes together and you can start to figure out in your head if you need to build it in sub-assemblies or build the whole model. All the parts are numbered as per the instructions. First thing you need is a sharp pair of snippers. When you're buying these, what you're looking for is a pair that has a flat edge. It gives you a nice clean cut. Now just carefully cut out the bits you want, just be careful you're not snipping off any detail that you're going to want later. When they are injecting the plastic into the mould, sometimes a little bit will squeeze out. This causes what they call a mould line, and you'll see it on most models. You'll also have the little stress points where you've snipped the piece away from the sprue. Now if you don't get rid of these, it shows up twice as bad once you've painted it. The second bit you're going to need is a scalpel or a sharp blade or a mould removing tool. If you're using something like a scalpel or a hobby knife, normally you'll use a sharp blade to make sure you get a nice clean cut. For this job, an old dull blade is ideal. So swap it to one of your old blunt blades and then just gently scrape it along the mould line and that will get rid of it for you. For more stubborn pieces you can either use a file, but be aware if you press too hard with these it can take away a lot of the plastic you don't want to get rid of. Or you can use a sanding block. These particular ones are designed for building models, but also you can use the ones you get from a chemist for filing fingernails. The ideal ones I found are the ones that got slightly spongy in the middle. Therefore when you're sanding it forms to the surface that you're working on. Makes life a little bit easier. Try and make sure you got it all. If you don't, you'll see it after you primed it. It's not a massive problem. After you primed it, let it dry, then do exactly the same process again, and then quick touch up, prime, and you're good to go. So now you've prepped all the basic pieces, it's now time to glue it together. Follow the instructions and use whichever glue is best to the job in hand you're doing. If you're not sure what glue to use, check out the video I did recently on the subject to see all the different options you've got to find the best tool for the job that you want to do. Now you've built it, now it's time to prime it. Priming gives you a really nice surface for you to paint on. Here I'm going to use a black from Vallejo. You can also use white, which is great for really bright and bold paint schemes, or you can get best of both worlds with a grey. Now, I'm using Airbrush today, but you can do the same thing with a rattle can, and Ben has done a video on this recently, so check that out as well. So there you go, theirs is now primed. I could paint it from now, but I want to take it one extra further step. I'm going to now change out into a grey primer, so I'm now going to do a global zenithal highlight from above. This really helps to bring out the details so you can see it, what's actually there a little bit easier, and also it starts to give you an idea of where your highlights and your lowlights and midtones are going to be. Now, the grey overspray I did for this, for that global highlight, it did the job, but it's far from perfect. Now, sneaky peek for you. I've just seen some of the footage that Ben is working on for his next video, and he's looking at zenithal highlighting and different techniques for zenithal highlighting and basics of OSL, object source lighting. Now, what I've seen of it so far, it looks amazing, so I'll put a link to that. So I will see you next time in that video as we explore the world of miniature modelling. Take care, bye.